You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Security Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Packet capture, often abbreviated as PCAP, refers to the process of recording raw network traffic as it moves across a wire or wireless medium. Unlike higher-level logs, which summarize or abstract activity, packet captures record the actual bits and bytes exchanged between systems. This makes them one of the most high-fidelity forensic sources available. Investigators can examine every header, flag, and payload to reconstruct what truly happened on the network. PCAPs provide the, quote, truth of communications, capturing not only metadata but the actual content of exchanges. For learners, think of it like a wiretap in criminal investigations. Email logs might show who sent a message, but the PCAP contains the entire conversation, word for word. This depth makes packet captures invaluable in security, but also challenging. They are storage-heavy, privacy-sensitive, and require careful handling to be effective. The timing of when to capture packets is just as important as how. Captures are most useful when there is suspicion of serious events such as data exfiltration, command and control, C2, traffic, lateral movement, or protocol anomalies. For example, if analysts suspect attackers are siphoning intellectual property to an external host, a targeted capture at the egress point can reveal exactly what files left the network. Similarly, when new malware strains emerge, packet captures can confirm whether unusual traffic patterns match known C2 beacons. Lateral movement investigations also benefit, as packet captures between internal hosts often reveal credential reuse or hidden tunnels. For learners, this is like security cameras. You don't record every corner of the world forever, but you monitor entrances, exits, and suspicious events carefully. Timing and placement ensure captures provide maximum forensic value without overwhelming resources. Capture modes determine how much data is collected and directly impact storage and analysis trade-offs. Full packet capture records every byte of every frame, allowing complete reconstruction of conversations and payloads. This is ideal for forensics but extremely heavy on storage and processing. Header-only captures store just the packet headers, enough for flow analysis and traffic patterns but lacking payload detail. Sampling captures only a subset of packets, reducing volume further but limiting completeness. Each approach has pros and cons. Full captures maximize fidelity, headers balance insight and scale, while sampling provides coverage with resource efficiency. For learners, think of it like photography. Full capture is taking every photo of every moment, header only is snapping key stills, and sampling is taking snapshots at intervals. The right choice depends on the investigative goal and available resources. Sensor placement determines visibility and is a critical design decision in packet capture strategies. Capturing at choke points, such as perimeter firewalls, border routers, or VPN concentrators, ensures visibility into ingress and egress flows. However, modern threats often hide in east-west traffic inside the network, so visibility into key internal segments, like data center interconnects or authentication servers, is also necessary. Placement balances breadth and depth. Too few sensors create blind spots. Too many generate unmanageable data. For learners, think of this as placing cameras in a building. One at the front door is useful, but attackers may slip in through side entrances or move laterally between rooms. Strategic placement ensures you see the right doors and hallways without drowning in footage from every corner. Before capturing packets, legal and privacy considerations must be addressed. Network traffic often contains personally identifiable information, packets, sensitive communications, or even confidential business transactions. Depending on jurisdiction, organizations may require consent, warrants, or compliance with data protection laws before capturing. Regulatory frameworks like GDPR impose strict limits on what data can be collected and how long it can be stored. Ignoring these issues can turn useful evidence into a liability. For learners, imagine audio recording every phone conversation in an office without telling employees. It may provide evidence, but it also violates privacy laws. Packet capture must balance forensic needs with legal boundaries, ensuring that captures are intentional, proportionate, and governed by clear policies. Tooling choices also influence capture quality. Widely used tools like tcpdump, Wireshark, and specialized appliances provide different trade-offs in usability, scalability, and detail. Regardless of tool, timestamp accuracy is essential. Consistent clock synchronization across capture devices ensures packets can be correlated correctly across multiple sensors. This often requires network time protocol (NTP) alignment. Without synchronized clocks, analysts may misinterpret event sequences, undermining investigations. For learners, think of journalists covering an event from different cities. If their clocks are unsynchronized, timelines conflict, and the story doesn't line up. Packet capture tools must therefore combine strong capture fidelity with precise timing to make data usable across the investigation. Indexing and metadata capture accelerate analysis over large packet sets. Instead of combing through terabytes of raw bytes, investigators rely on flow records, connection tuples, or session metadata to quickly filter relevant streams. These indexes allow searches like show all traffic between host A and host B on port 443 during this window without scanning every packet. Metadata enables fast triage, while full payloads remain available if needed. For learners, imagine library indexing. You don't flip through every book, you consult the catalog first, then pull the specific titles. Similarly, metadata indexes act as the card catalog of PCAPs, guiding investigators efficiently to the relevant traffic. Retention strategy is another consideration for packet captures. Because full packet storage is resource-intensive, most organizations use rolling windows. Perhaps a few days of capture overwritten unless flagged for retention. High-risk segments, such as servers holding sensitive data, may have longer retention. Older captures may be archived into cold storage for compliance or forensic reference, but at higher cost and slower access. Retention must balance visibility with storage constraints, while respecting legal requirements. For learners, think of CCTV footage. You may keep a rolling 30-day archive, but preserve specific clips longer when they capture an incident. Packet capture follows the same principle: continuous rolling storage with selective long-term preservation. Safe handling of PCAPs is essential to preserve evidentiary value. Captures should be stored as read-only files, with analysis performed on verified copies. Hashes such as SHA-256 must be computed to prove integrity, and strict access controls must be enforced. Because packet captures may contain sensitive data, even analysts, access should be role-based and logged. For learners, think of handling physical evidence like a sealed envelope. Investigators work from copies while the original remains sealed for verification. Packet captures require the same rigor, ensuring the data remains intact and defensible in legal or regulatory contexts. Initial triage steps focus on establishing context. Analysts typically identify which endpoints are involved, reconstruct sessions, and extract artifacts such as transferred files, credentials, or suspicious payloads. Simple tools like Wireshark allow filtering traffic by IP address or protocol to quickly narrow scope. Triage provides the quick wins that orient an investigation, guiding deeper forensic analysis. For learners, think of medical triage after an accident. First responders stabilize patients and identify the most critical issues before surgeons dive into complex operations. Packet triage provides that same orientation step, ensuring analysts know where to focus limited time and resources. Correlation of packet capture findings with host logs and endpoint detection telemetry creates stronger, more defensible evidence. A suspicious session in the PCAP gains credibility if matched with process creation logs on the endpoint. Firewall logs may confirm the same connection attempt. Cross-source correlation eliminates blind spots and validates findings. Without it, packet captures risk being interpreted out of context. For learners, imagine solving a crime with only security footage. It may show a suspect, but pairing it with witness statements and fingerprints makes the case far stronger. Packet captures provide one powerful lens, but they must be integrated with other forensic artifacts to create a comprehensive narrative. A practical exercise to begin working with PCAPs is to configure a mirrored port on a switch to capture one server's traffic for 24 hours. Store the capture in rotating files to manage storage, and compute a SHA-256 hash for each file to prove integrity. Next, practice extracting HTTP payloads and reconstructing a file transfer. This simple exercise demonstrates multiple core principles: sensor placement, integrity validation, triage through payload analysis, and artifact reconstruction. For learners, it's like a mock investigation. Rather than waiting for a breach, you simulate controlled capture and analysis to learn the workflow. Such practice builds comfort with tooling and helps establish good habits in forensic handling and validation. Session reassembly is one of the most common and powerful tasks when working with packet captures. It involves taking individual packets and reconstructing them into complete communication sessions, allowing analysts to see entire conversations rather than fragmented traffic. Tools like Wireshark or Zeek can reassemble TCP streams, showing everything from HTTP requests and responses to FTP file transfers. Reassembly is also key for extracting transferred files, parsing URLs, and decoding application-level protocols. Without reassembly, analysts are left piecing together hundreds or thousands of raw packets manually. For learners, think of it like putting together a shredded letter. The individual scraps hold information, but only when reconstructed do you see the full message. Session reassembly turns fragmented traffic into coherent evidence, making investigations more efficient and defensible. Filtering is essential when working with large captures, since PCAPs can easily reach gigabytes or terabytes in size. Berkeley packet filters, BPFs, allow investigators to capture only specific traffic during collection, such as all traffic to or from port 443. Display filters, applied during analysis, allow narrowing scope post-capture, such as show only DNS queries from this host. Effective filtering reduces noise, improves focus, and speeds up analysis dramatically. For learners, think of filtering like using a sieve. Instead of pouring through buckets of sand for gold nuggets by hand, you filter out what you don't need, leaving behind what matters. Without filtering, packet analysis becomes overwhelming, with analysts lost in a sea of irrelevant traffic. With filtering, focus sharpens on the flows most likely to reveal malicious or anomalous behavior. Intrusion detection system, IDS, signatures and heuristic rules are often layered on top of packet captures to quickly surface suspicious flows. Tools like Suricata or Snort can scan captures against libraries of signatures, flagging known exploits, malware traffic, or suspicious behaviors. Heuristics rules based on patterns rather than strict signatures help catch unknown variants, such as repeated beaconing intervals suggestive of command and control traffic. By running PCAPs through IDS engines, analysts quickly highlight flows of interest, reducing the time required for manual review. For learners, think of this like scanning luggage at an airport. Automated systems flag bags that match patterns of risk, allowing human investigators to focus on the most suspicious cases. Similarly, IDS layers sift through mountains of packet data, spotlighting the conversations that deserve human attention. Dealing with encrypted traffic is one of the biggest challenges in modern packet analysis. Full payload inspection often isn't possible when sessions are encrypted with TLS or similar protocols. Analysts must rely on metadata such as IP addresses, ports, and session durations, or leverage techniques like JA3 fingerprints, which identify TLS client behavior based on handshake patterns. Endpoint correlation tying network sessions back to host process telemetry can also reveal which applications generated encrypted traffic. While encryption protects confidentiality, it doesn't erase forensic value. Metadata still provides strong clues. For learners, think of this like watching a suspect through tinted windows. You can't hear the conversation, but you can see who entered, how long they stayed, and what direction they left. Encrypted traffic analysis requires creative use of metadata and endpoint logs to build investigative insight without breaking privacy protections. Automated extraction techniques allow analysts to pull key artifacts directly from PCAPs. For example, analysts can extract chat messages from plain text protocols, recover file transfers, or carve binary artifacts that can be detonated in sandboxes for deeper analysis. Automated extraction reduces manual labor and ensures consistent artifact collection across large datasets. Some tools even parse higher-level application protocols automatically, presenting extracted content in human-readable form. For learners, think of this like forensic specialists pulling fingerprints and fibers from a crime scene automatically, rather than manually inspecting every surface. Automated extraction accelerates analysis, standardizes workflows, and preserves forensic fidelity by ensuring nothing important is overlooked in the mountain of captured traffic. Cross-correlation is what transforms packet analysis from interesting data into a complete investigative story. PCAPs alone show traffic flows, but when mapped to authentication logs, endpoint processes, and firewall entries, the evidence gains credibility and context. For example, a suspicious outbound connection in a PCAP is far stronger when matched with host logs showing a malicious binary launch. Cross-correlation allows triangulation, where multiple independent sources confirm the same event. For learners, think of this like solving a mystery with multiple witnesses. Each person's account may have gaps, but when combined, the story becomes airtight. In cybersecurity, correlating packet captures with logs and telemetry makes evidence robust enough to stand up in forensic reviews, regulatory hearings, or even courtrooms. Documenting findings from PCAPs is critical for defensibility. Analysts must preserve slices of captures around suspicious activity, record timestamps, and explain the rationale for each extracted artifact. This prevents later accusations that evidence was cherry-picked or misinterpreted. Good documentation also makes analysis reproducible, allowing another investigator to follow the same steps and reach the same conclusions. For learners, this is like scientific experiments. Observations mean little if they cannot be reproduced. In forensics, every extracted file, decoded session, or suspicious pattern must be documented with context and rationale, ensuring conclusions are transparent and trustworthy. When sharing packet evidence with external parties' legal teams, regulators, or incident response partners, secure export formats and redaction practices are essential. PCAPs often contain sensitive data, such as internal IP addresses or even user communications. Exporting smaller slices containing only relevant flows reduces exposure risk. Redaction or anonymization can remove PII while preserving forensic value. Evidence must be transmitted securely, ideally over encrypted channels, and accompanied by integrity hashes to prove authenticity. For learners, imagine preparing evidence for a courtroom. You don't bring every file in your company. You bring only what's relevant, sealed, and authenticated. The same principle applies to packet evidence. Export carefully, share securely, and redact responsibly. Scaling packet analysis is a significant challenge for organizations. Storing full PCAPs across large enterprises quickly consumes petabytes of storage. Tiered approaches help recent captures remain hot and queryable, while older captures are compressed or archived to cold storage. Indexing and search-enabled packet stores, such as Moloch, Archime, allow investigators to query massive archives efficiently, filtering down to the slices that matter. Without these techniques, packet capture becomes impractical at enterprise scale. For learners, this is like managing a massive library. You don't store every book on the front desk. You keep recent ones accessible and archive older ones, with a catalog to help you find them when needed. Scaling packet capture requires similar strategies to balance fidelity with feasibility. Training analysts in packet forensics is vital, as patterns often repeat. Analysts must learn to recognize common malicious behaviors, such as beaconing to command and control servers, asymmetric flows suggesting data exfiltration, or sudden bursts of large uploads. These patterns stand out once you know what to look for. but to the untrained eye, they may blend into background noise. Structured training with hands-on labs builds intuition and reduces reliance on tools alone. For learners, this is like birdwatching. To novices, birds all look alike, but with training, patterns emerge, flight paths, calls, and markings. Packet analysis works the same way. With practice, analysts quickly distinguish benign noise from suspicious anomalies. Preservation best practices ensure packet captures remain defensible. Analysts should always maintain the original PCAP files hashed at the moment of capture and perform analysis only on working copies. This protects the originals from accidental modification and ensures that if findings are challenged, pristine evidence exists for review. Every analytic step should be logged, and working copies should be clearly marked as such. For learners, think of handling rare manuscripts. The originals are kept locked away, while researchers work with photocopies. Packet captures deserve the same rigor, ensuring evidentiary integrity throughout their life cycle. Ultimately, packet captures are among the most powerful tools in digital forensics, but also among the heaviest to manage. They demand intentional capture strategies, efficient indexing, smart filtering, and disciplined handling to be useful. Captures must be correlated with other evidence sources, documented carefully, and preserved with integrity. When used properly, PCAPs reveal attacker tactics in unparalleled detail, from session flows to file extractions. For learners, the lesson is clear. Packet captures are not to be collected casually or hoarded endlessly. They are investigative scalpel, not a blunt hammer. Capture intentionally, analyze smartly, correlate broadly, and document every step. Done this way, packet captures transform from overwhelming data dumps into decisive forensic evidence. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.